to push record because then I can't
Huh? Oh.
I forget to push record and then we have to start over. Just kidding. Well, so I sent out, did I send out any reminder today saying that we were going to have this Zoom today? I don't know. I feel like I feel like I said like what we're going to cover today, but at some place in some lesson plan somewhere, I said that I was going to cover independent writing and schedules. So that is what I want to talk about, and I'm recording so that the rest of the parents can see it. So this week they've got to do independent writing. Sorry, how's everyone? I'm sorry. Good?
We're good.
Sorry. Ooh, Romi's mom is coming.
How about you?
Good. I'm mid birthday party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We saw that on the video this morning.
Yeah. So I just finished face painting some girls, the two girls and everything. Hi, Romina's mom. So as I was saying, I want to talk about writing. So one of the things that I want to talk to the parents about is I feel like some of the parents get a little concerned about how they, the kids are doing their flip grids and how well they're doing when they're doing their flip grids, and they want them to perform at their best. But it may not always be representative of who they are and what they're able to do. So when we're doing writing, we want to see a true assessment of how they can write. So for the independent writing, I want them to, like when we're doing the details, like this week we're doing topic sentence, detail sentence, detail sentence. Hi, Mrs. Aguilera, how are you?
Hello.
So we're doing 5 sentences, right? It's going to be topic sentence, detail sentence, and conclusion. So right now, this is the only thing I really want them to get support with is counting the words. So if they come up with the sentence, they say, I know a lot about panda bears. So we're just remind them of the rules of writing, which is start a sentence with an uppercase letter, make finger spacing in between the words, finish your sentence with a punctuation mark. Can you read the sentence to yourself? Okay, so what you're gonna help them do is you're gonna help them count the words. Because, and then perhaps helping them if they need help with sounding out, but not sound by sound, because now they're beyond that. Writing is an effort of being brave. So they have to be brave enough to write. And I have them way beyond that, okay? So that was like January, February, that's when they were like, because we've been writing since September. So I gave them to the point where they should be able to write independently. Now, do they have to spell correctly? No. But if you see that there are some of the sight words like these that they should know, maybe those you can give to them, like with the one in the, if we haven't, lately we haven't, what? Hold on. Lately we haven't cut out these words, right? But they can be used as references. So if they forgot the word she, maybe you can look up the word she, you know, because it should be one of their sight words. So those words are sight words, and they probably should be able to write them out, because they're sight words. They're almost by memory. The other words should be sounding out. So if they're doing panda, I'm gonna go through a sentence. I know a lot about pandas. So you say to him, okay, or her, oh, okay, that's your sentence. Let's count the words. I know a lot about pandas. 6 words. And now they know how many spaces they're going to have in their sentence. So then they start out, remember to start a sentence with an uppercase letter. So they write I know, and they're like, I don't know how to spell it. Well, if they remember the sight word K-N-O-W, great. If they don't, let it go. Let it go. I know a space lot, and let them go. Let them just listen to them and just watch them, because a lot of times they want to cling to you, and they want to hear, and they want to ask for help, and they want to, like, I don't remember, I don't know where I'm at. Like, I know you can do it. And it has to be with tons of support. Like, you can do it. I know you can. Mrs. Rodriguez says that you've been doing this for a really long time, and you can do this. And in her classroom, you are writing amazing things. And when you do your Flipgrid, your teacher is going to be so impressed by all the work that you are doing. So I know a lot about pandas is easy. In our classroom, they were writing up to 12 words. Some of those kids were writing 12 words by themselves, no problem. Now, when they do, I know a lot, easy word for them to sound out, about. If they spell about, U-B-O-T, a boat, fine, perfect. You let it go. About pandas. So they're going to pandas. Let's see, pandas. 2 syllables. Try to do pan first. And they'll do pan. Okay, duh. But do you hear that I'm not sounding it out? In January, I was sounding it out. And now they're doing it by themselves. So they do pan, duh. All right, read your sentence, because where we left off was that they would write their sentence, look at to check to see if they were missing any words. So if they wrote, I know a pandas. So when they go back and they're like, I know a pandas, and they're like, oh, I know a pandas. Oh, I'm missing the word lot. Okay, where are you missing the word lot? Okay, so then then we move on to the next day, and if again, you're going to help them count how many words are in the sentence. You talk about capitalization, spacing, checking to see if they wrote all of the words, checking to see if the sight words are correct. For example, if they're doing do and they write D-U, and say, you can stop them and say, hey, isn't that one of the sight words, do? Could you try to remember what the sight word looks like? Or do you want to look inside of, I know the language arts packet has like all the sight words right there. You know what I'm talking about? This one.
Oh, okay, I know.
Like the easy, oh yeah, that one too, Mrs. Perez, or this one. You know, like any of these, they can easily, when they're writing, they can look at this and they can say, oh yeah, I can use this word, right? So it's a combination of sight words. It's a combination of phonetic spelling. So I am not expecting them to follow all of the English language rules, but I am expecting them to be able to spell phonetically. So if they say the dog says rough and they spell, well, that is R-U-F-F. But if they just spell rough or R-U-F, that's fine. So what's important here is that they are able to start doing work independently, that they make at least a few letters per word, that they have capitalization, spacing, that their handwriting doesn't go away, because a lot of kids have like handwriting that is starting to get messy. Try to use, because the paper that we're using this week is still the broken line, bottom line one. So making sure that they continue to use the correct handwriting for that. Do you guys have any questions on how to do this?
I tried I didn't just try. I encouraged Nicholas for the idea web to write and sound everything out himself. And I tried to guide him in terms of spacing, but he still wasn't listening and just rushing in and shoving stuff together, and all of his sentences got mishmashed together. And he had the hardest time with it because he wanted me to help him with sounding things out or telling him how to spell it. And I mean, we went literally, there were lots of tears.
Well, I kind of feel bad. I kind of feel bad about the idea web, because that one, I didn't totally expect them to write it by themselves, because that's like a 3-day process for if they have to write like all of the information by themselves. Do you see what I'm saying? Like
So what I did is, so we had gone through videos and we found out a bunch of facts about his animal. And then I actually, as we were researching, I had a dry erase board and I just kind of jotted down the ideas for him. And then we talked about it for him to write it. But I guess part of it was that I made him do it in markers so that you could see it. And he was freaking out because he couldn't erase it. So now I've learned that I need to have him do everything in pencil and then just trace over it in marker after he's happy with it.
Yeah.
Because I guess I didn't understand. And I was like, we were talking about the facts. I was like, okay, so you want to write that down. And then I had him sound it out. And I guess that was.
Yeah, that makes it so hard to do an idea web where they had to sound out by themselves. And that's part of the miscommunication of me, just handing over the reins, of teaching. It's like, because you don't know that I'm expecting them, for them to get a lot of help with the web, because the idea web is just an idea web. It wasn't the writing exercise. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, so I should have helped him write the idea web?
Yes.
I should have written the idea web out, or he should write it out?
Yeah, I think if you guys would have done it, it would have been okay. Because it was just, I know.
No, shoot. I hope
I just feel like it was so much.
I was like, I'm sorry, you got to sound it out yourself. You can do it. And I gave him encouragement, but it just ended up in a temper tantrum with crying and things being thrown, and it was terrible.
I'm sorry if I'm laughing, but it's literally the same story at my house, but it's not. So I'm actually working. My husband is the one that's staying home with the kids. So I'm laughing because I'm not suffering. He is.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe should I help him and maybe do redo the idea web for him to then work? No.
Why do you want to give him more work?
No. I write stuff out for him so he can like see it, or don't worry about it and just have
No,
him go of what
yeah.
he did.
Yeah, let it.
You saw it today. It
Yeah, it
was
was perfect. I saw it. It was great. Like the stuff that I saw today was amazing and like super impressive. I was really happy. I saw.
I mean, he could read it all because he
Yeah,
wrote it.
because he
I
said
was
like he said things are have red foxes have really good hearing, and I saw it and it was good. So yeah, I think that's the problem with with me turning it over to all of you, because the idea web, if you saw, I just jotted down ideas, and if it were for them when they're doing it, it's kind of the same. I kind of do some of it because the writing exercise is the sentences, not the idea webs, just because it's just at a kinder level, they would never be able to do that by themselves. And for it to be like, if it were an idea web that they had to produce, it would probably take the entire week, right?
well, we got it done in an afternoon full of tears, but
Exactly, and that's what ends
hope
up
I don't know.
happening.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so sorry. I want to
No,
say I'm sorry.
Bad. I like hope I don't like scar him for life.
Hopefully it's going to be a little bit like easier for the details, because then it's just one, you know, the rest of the week, because it feels like they wrote twice. They're going to write the idea web one day, and then shoot, I feel super bad. You know, it's like, you know what? I feel like now
We're already scarring him for life in other ways. So I mean,
it's like the learning curve for me, because now I'm thinking I need to put more, kind of like when I do sub plans. So when I do sub plans, I leave the sub so many details, but in a grid for the lesson plans, I feel like there's such a small space.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to explain every detail like I do lesson plans. Whew. Okay.
Oh well, we'll get through it.
I am so
I think it'll
sorry.
be easy for Nicholas because he's already written the stuff. He just has to go back and look at what he wrote and then rewrite,
Write it.
you know, his
Yeah.
sentences.
I worked on the flute sentences with him, or the root sentences, and yeah, he was also wanting me to help him sound out words, but I tried not to.
Yeah, no,
It's
I
hard.
understand that. So for us, when we transitioned into CGI math is very much student guided, student growing, and student led, and student teaching each other. So when kids make mistakes, there's something that's called good, it's like a good struggle, you know, like a growing struggle. So you want them to have a growing struggle where they're, and I'm forgetting the actual word, but it's also struggle, like constructive struggle, productive struggle perhaps, where the struggle pushes them to move forward. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it helps them to hold on. I was listening to Mrs. One of the parents who's sending me a chat, and you guys can see it too. But so during that productive struggle, it pushes them to go to try to do it by themselves. And I think that when they have that productive struggle of having to sound out things by themselves, it really helps them, because I mean, I've had to deal with all the tears of all of your kiddos, right? But I had all of your kiddos' tears in September, October. Do you see what I'm saying? September, October, part of November, you know, a lot of your kids, I don't know how to write. I don't know how to write. I don't know how to write. And I'm like, well, you're going to have to try. And I walk away, you know, and they were not happy about me walking away. They're never happy about me walking away, because they want me to sound out everything for them. Okay, I'll be back, and I hope you have a couple of words there. But I don't know, but you're gonna try. But you're gonna try, and I know you can do some of these sounds by yourself. Do something for me. And once they did something for me, it was like, woohoo, big party. Oh my gosh, you did amazing. You did two sounds for the word. For the word but, you put but, BT, awesome, right? So it's growing. It's a learning curve for them. So yeah, good job on trying. And so a lot of times as teachers, we're going to want to help out. And so a lot of times we get caught on saying like, no, you can do it this other way. Wait, you know, like, hey, hold on, let me help you, because we're helpers, we're teachers, we're parents. We want to help, we want to do, and we want to take over. But when we do, we're not letting them be independent. So I want to answer Mrs. Rodriguez's question about the monarch butterfly. No, it's perfect. I feel she keeps choosing animals. She's outside in her yard. Yeah, no, it's perfect. I feel she's doing great. I loved it. I just couldn't see her like her idea web that close up, because when there's so many kids, the picture is so small that it was hard for me to see her you know, what her idea web was. But monarch butterflies are fine. I just found that a lot of kids wanted to do puppies. A ton of kids were wanting to do puppies. And I was like, well, I wanted to, you know, I wanted them to learn more about natural habitats, because it's so close to what, you know, the new generation standards for science are asking us to do. So that's why I wanted them to do something outside of the pets. Any other questions on writing? No? Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to talk about was scheduling and keeping schedules. Last week, we, Mr. Moore and we were talking with, what parent was it, Mr. Moore?
Remember?
I don't remember.
Lily's mom. With Lily's mom, we were talking about with Lily's mom how difficult it was with scheduling and keeping her motivated, right? So
Yeah.
it's too many topics for one night, and we'll do keeping motivated next week. But for scheduling, all of you have different schedules, different workloads, different arrangements, different daycares, different babysitting, different people who are taking care of your kids. But I think that the most important thing with scheduling with your kiddos is helping them, number one, preview things. So if they're able to preview when you're not there, and you have to go to work, you might have to preview some things to them, saying like, this is what your teacher wants you to do. Could you do X, Y, Z for me? Or also to just have an expectation when your kiddos are able to have a visual schedule of what their day looks like. The kids are more likely to follow and feel like this is what we have to do. And the big classroom management that we've always learned as teachers, old school teachers, was rules, rewards, and consequences. So the kids have to have schedules, they have to have rules, they have to have rewards, and they have to have consequences. When you're consistent with these three, then things start falling into place if you do it. So a teacher who is unable to do these three things in their classroom is going to be chaotic. Indefinitely for sure, because the first 2 weeks of school, a teacher works on rules, rewards, and consequences. So the first 2 days, teachers allow the kids to do what they do in their natural habitat. So whatever they want to do, they are just observing what the kids are doing, right? So that they can kind of ballpark what, who, why is going on, right? After that, the teacher starts establishing her rules, and the rules have to have a reason why. They don't They don't just, it's not a dictatorship. We like to have the kids involved in understanding why are there rules, what rules do we have to have. And so Cabrillo has always done, not always, but we have adopted the 3 Bs: be respectful, be responsible, and be safe. Thank you. I think, you know what, it's been a long time.
Only response.
Being responsible, being respectful, and being safe. And those are 3 that you could also still make a poster about at home and have them out there for your kiddos and say, hey, let's look at this. How are we going to be responsible in doing our schoolwork? How are we going to be respectful? Because a lot of our kiddos are now whining at home, right? In my classroom, when my kindergartners whine, I say, whoa, 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 whoa. I can't handle any whining because I already have 3 kids at home, all right, guys? So I can't handle any more whining outside of there. We can't work with whining. So, but now that they're yours and then they're at your house, well, then that makes it easy for them to whine all day, right? So that's something that you've got to help them out with, because you have to have these conversations with them so that and you cannot have these conversations when they're upset. All right, let me say that again. You cannot have a conversation with a child when they are upset. It has to be when they are calm, when they are observing somebody else's negative behavior, like Nanny 911, okay? When they're watching other kids not acting how they're supposed to, they're able to say, hey, that wasn't nice, right? That wasn't friendly language. That wasn't being responsible. That wasn't very safe. So having those conversations with your kiddos is important. Talking and writing and drawing schedules is also important for them. Once they have the routine down, then they should follow it. And if they don't follow it, they should have consequences. The consequences should always match the crime, so to speak. So and that's the most difficult part of being the parent, is finding the right consequence, that once they receive that consequence, it creates a stimulus to not ever do it again, right? Because if the child has already, for example, if they whined, right? If they whined and they said, no, I don't want to do that work. No, I'm not going to do it today. I'm tired. I don't want to do it. Well, then the consequence has to be, is it going to be, well, okay, I'm going to take away your iPad. It doesn't always clearly match. Taking away the iPad isn't going to clearly match it. If it's almost like the consequence should be like connected to time, because since they're taking their time not doing the work, then you take away their time for something that was preferred for them. Do you see what I'm saying? So, okay, I am going to take the amount of minutes that is taking you to get ready to write, and I'm gonna time it now. Okay, so since you took 10 minutes to get ready to start writing, those are the same 10 minutes that I'm going to take away from blah, blah, blah. Do you see how it matches a little bit more time with time? So that's how we should do the consequences, because if you expect the little kiddos to want to just follow the rules because they're great kids, it's not gonna happen. Because they're human, they're kids, they're just kids, and they're perfectly normal kids. All of you have perfectly normal kids. Yes. Ven a sentarte conmigo. So because of it, they're going to whine. They're going to say no, thank you. They're going to say things like that. And so the other thing that I want to talk and say is something that's called approximation. So for example, if you have an expectation for your child that is like, I want you to the expectation is for you to get dressed in 15 minutes, right? And be at the breakfast table, ready to have breakfast because we're about to start school. And so you use the words like, we're gonna go to school. Like at my house, we all, every Sunday we say, we're going to go to mass. So get ready because we're gonna go to mass. And we're not going to mass, we're going to the living room to watch mass on TV, right? And so, but using like the language, like we're gonna get started with school. We're going to, it's school time, it's work time for me, things like that. So using the language that's consistent with them is going to help them. I don't go to work, but I tell the baby I'm going to work, and she knows. At first she was like, no, that's not work, that's the playroom. You're just going to the playroom. But now she knows, you know what? I'm going to my work. I'm going to the playroom, and that's where I'm going. She's like, oh, okay, kiss goodbye. And she kisses me goodbye as I go to work. Now, she still escapes, but she's approximating. So the back to approximation, if your child, the expectation is to get their room ready, them dressed and ready to go to the breakfast table in 15 minutes, but they get there in 20, that's approximation. And you've got to let it go sometimes because they were close. And every day they get closer to the goal, okay? So it's not like, I don't want you to like be like, okay, this is how it's gonna be, and if you don't do it, it's not good enough. If they're close, if they're approximating, for example, if a child, like in my classroom, if I have a kid who has orange, 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 red, orange, red, orange, red cards, do I expect them to get greens? And their kid is like, you better get, the parents say, you better get a green today. That's not approximation. The approximation is getting orange every day because they're getting reds too. Okay, go. Sorry. We got a little, you want to see the little birthday princess? Say hi. Say hi.
Hi.
Happy birthday.
Hello.
Thank
Oh, painting.
All right. Okay, ve que te dé una cookie, una. So then, after they meet that goal, it is a wow, you haven't gotten a red card. Woo-hoo-hoo, right? And then it's like, oh, I wonder if you can get some yellow cards. It's still breaking the rules, right? The kid is still breaking the rules, but we're approximating, right? So we want to approximate with that child. And that's what I want you to do. They have to have a gradual growth. They have to feel like they get rewarded. They have to feel like they're appreciated. They have to feel like you are acknowledging that they're trying. And if they're trying just a tiny little bit, you better recognize it. You better say, woo-hoo, woo-hoo, woo-hoo. I cannot imagine. And it boosts it just boosts everything in them, right? When they feel like, I tried and my parents noticed it, right? And so that's what we want you to try to do with it. Doing the schedule, doing a visual schedule, if you know how to draw, if you know how to print, if you know how to do like a visual schedule, that's going to help. But there's also, I have one of these things that has the schedule with a bunch of other things. This is what I have found. So it has like the days of the week, magnetic responsibility chart, and it says make your bed, brush teeth, do homework, blah blah blah. So you put them in there, and if they do it, you give them a happy face. But it has to be something that's kind of consistent, right? Kind of like that you're able to do it quite often. And last we were talking about something that, you know, what works in my house is if we have like the expectation of chores and they do them without me asking, they're gonna get 2 points on the calendar. If they do it when I ask them without whining, they're gonna get 1 point. But if I ask them and they whine and resist, they get 0 points, but they still have to do it. So then after a certain amount, I give them the reward. So, you know, I've done marble jars, I've done other things like the charts and things like that, so that you can do that. So those are some ideas. Do any of you have ideas that are working for you?
Well, we've been using the little like little chart half moon. Yeah, hold on, I'll go get it.
Yeah, we gotta see it.
So Steve printed up like little fake dollars that Nicholas can, like, if he goes above and beyond, he like can earn a dollar. And then the fake dollars, when he gets to 20, well, there's lower thresholds.
Ooh.
So we have like a chart.
Okay, I gotta look at this.
Yeah. So we start out the day in neutral, and then if he does like the basic things like, you know, get dressed and get himself like, you know, ready and watching the first video and writing out today is, and you know, the date, then he can move up to green, and then, you know, depending on, you know, what he gets done during the day and how much resistance he has, or if it's like, you know, one day he decided he was going to read a book to us all by himself. He got bumped up and, you know, to the dollar. And then on the back is the I guess the like the reward. So he can either use the dollars like, you know, like in smaller increments, or he can go, you know,
Bank
$5, or he's really incentivized to save up $20 to get the Lego, like a small Lego set.
Nice.
So it's been.
How does the arrow work?
Oh, it's stuck on there that it can
With
move.
what? Did you buy that?
No, I made it.
No, Steve's like crazy handyman.
With
How did you
It's
pass
a
it?
you
push
do
pin.
that?
It's a push pin on the back, push through, and then I use foam board.
It's cardboard. It's just
It's
like
foam board.
Oh, it looks like cardboard.
Yeah, just like that. And I pushed it through into the arrow into the foam board,
Uh-huh.
and then glued it on that side so that way it can spin on the other side. So
Yeah.
Fancy pants.
Yeah, that's a little fancy.
That's cool. I like it. Thank you
But
for doing that.
he
How's it working?
He laminated it too. Like, so like the other thing, I mean, you could just, instead of having an arrow, you could like do dry erase on it if you
Yeah.
wanted to like do that.
You have that laminator?
I do at work.
He did it at work.
Nice.
It's working pretty well. Like, I mean, the thing with Nicholas is that he does get super upset when he knows he's going to get bumped down a level. And so, you know, if he gets a warning and be like, well, this is what we're doing.
Flip to that, he does say, how can I earn my way back?
Yeah. So that way, when he goes down, then we talk about, well, how are you going to turn it around? How can you earn back to get back up to green?
Yeah.
You know, things like that. So, I mean,
So it is a conversation. You are agreeing with me that it does take a conversation when he's calm, like this is what we're gonna do.
Yesterday with the Idea Web, you know, he was pretty upset, but then afterwards, and he acted out in a not very nice way to me. And after he was calm and whatever, then we did talk about it, and he felt bad. And he definitely was trying his best to get back onto green. So one of the he got 2 consequences. He actually threw a sneaker at me. So the consequence was that we took away his TV time for the night, and that he was going to lose $1. But because he was on such good behavior in the evening after we had our talk, we didn't take away the $1, but we still told him he didn't get TV. So he was able to, you know.
Can I tell you what my first thought was on the sneaker thing?
What?
Well, first of all, it seems completely normal for a kid to throw a sneaker at you. I think it's super normal. I mean,
I do it all the time.
I don't know. It seems a super normal kind of a thing to do, but and then I'm also kind of tough and mean, so I was thinking, oh, you throw a sticker. Usually when someone is like did something like that at my house, it's like, oh, you threw a sneaker at me? Okay, well, I'm taking your sneakers. Bye. You know, like that's what I would have thought. Like I would have taken the sneakers.
My sneakers through my sneakers.
Oh man.
He was using his brain.
Yeah. Good thinking. Good thinking.
But yeah, I think it's definitely helpful because we did have the conversation. It was like, okay, so what do you want to do to like? What do you want to like? How do you want to turn it around?
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad that that's working out. Does anybody else have any questions? No? Thank you so much for coming. I've got to go break a piñata.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming. ¿Alguna otra pregunta? ¿Alguien tiene una pregunta? ¿Se pueden quedar las familias de Joana para hablar con ustedes un segundito?
Sí.
Okay, gracias. Señora, ¿alguien más? Anyone else has anything to ask? Thank you so much for coming, Mrs. Aguilera. What's up, Romy? What do you want to ask, woman?
Dice que tengo una pregunta.
Oh, she does, of course.
Sí, tengo una pregunta sobre lo de matemáticas de las tarjetas.
Yes.
Ya ven que nos dio una página de lesson plans. Eso es lo que voy a hacer este día, el color negro, el color azul, el color así. Entendí. Lo de matemáticas de cero
So solamente, she's asking about the flashcards, the adding and subtraction flashcards, right? And then I put a link. I put a link, and the link isn't the greatest link, but it was kind of an example.
Oh, okay.
It was an example, like this is what I want you guys to do, but I do want you to do as many cards as possible, but es como hacer las tablas. It's like doing the facts, math facts. Like
porque vienen colores, azul, no sé qué, dije, entonces tenemos que hacer todos los que están ahí. O sea,
do as many as you can. That's all I want. Like do as many as you can, whatever. If you do a few, like from 0 to 5, from, you know, whatever you can, that's fine. But whatever you're able to do, I'm okay with it. But I want them to kind of start just practicing doing them, like 0 plus 0, 0 plus 1, 0 plus 2, 0 plus 3, 0 plus 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 1 plus 2, 1 plus 1, 1 plus 2, 1 plus 3, 1 plus 4, 1 plus 5, all the way to 10.
Okay, I got it.
2 plus 1, 2 plus 2, 2 plus 3, all the way to 10.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a lot. It's like a gazillion of them, right? But do whatever you can. That's okay. Whatever, or whatever you think is going to be a challenge for her.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, do what's going to be a challenge for her, because if 7 plus 3 is going to be a challenge, 4 plus 6 is going to be a challenge, 5 plus 4 is going to be a challenge. Do those, but don't go beyond 10.
Okay.
Just stay under 10.
Okay, I got you.
And the same for the subtraction.
Okay.
10 minus 1, 10 minus 2, 10 minus 3, 10 minus 4.
We did addition.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Solo búscalo, baby.
All right, thank you so much.
Bye.
Nos vemos.
Joanna, you gave me the other.
Oh, oh, all right, solamente estamos nosotros. Ok, ¿están listos?
Sí, sí.
Ok, solamente rapidito, porque como les digo, tengo que salir afuera a quebrar una piñata con una princesa. Lo que me estaba preocupando era el hecho de que cuando estoy en el Zoom, porque ¿sí vieron mi mensaje que les mandé ahora?
Sí. Ok, mi amor, ahí téngalo. Ahí
Sí.
téngalo.
Sí.
Sí.
La pregunta que era, ¿cuál es? Yo me acuerdo que su horario de ustedes es que el papá está trabajando hasta las 9 de la noche. Y,
Entre veces.
¿sí?
Ajá, entre veces. O ya a las 7 ya, depende.
Ok, a veces sale a las 7, a veces sale a las 9. ¿Y
Sí.
la mamá está trabajando en el día y sale a qué hora?
Casi como a las 7
Casi como a
también.
las 7.
Ok, entonces cuando llegan a casa es difícil trabajar con Jojo porque ya para entonces ya es tarde, ¿verdad? Tienen que hacer la cena, tienen que cenar.
Sí,
y
ya salgo.
Ya, entonces lo que viene pasando es que Jojo es una niña extremadamente inteligente. Ella necesita trabajar más allá de lo que le estoy dando yo. ¿Sí me entienden? Ella está trabajando en un nivel de primer grado, segundo grado, a veces también, porque ella ya sabe leer bastante, sabe las cosas de matemáticas, también ya se las sabe. Entonces, ella a veces, ella me está haciendo saber, me ha dicho, estoy aburrida, no sé de qué me estás hablando, no he hecho mi proyecto de animales, no he visto los videos. Y es Joanna es así. Ella es una persona que sabe comunicar lo que está pasando con ella. Si hay algo que no está bien, ella lo comunica inmediatamente y ella no se está sintiendo como que está trabajando a su nivel. Entonces, por la situación. Entonces, más que nada quería hablar con ustedes a ver si si podían hacer algún cambio de alguna manera con ella para que ella pueda ver mis videos, pueda tener sus útiles disponibles, porque ella solamente necesita mirar mis videos
Sí.
y ella hace las cosas.
Ella capta.
Ella no necesita que alguien, los demás de los niños que están, como los otros padres de familia que están al lado de que estaban con nosotros ahorita, sus niños necesitan que ellos estén al lado de ellos trabajando, pero Jojo no necesita tanto ayuda. Ella con poder ver mis videos y poder estar al tanto, si a Jojo le enseñan cómo ver mis videos en YouTube, si le enseñan, ella lo va a hacer. Entonces quería ver si podrían apoyar a Jojo en alguna manera para que pueda ver mis videos y pueda ella empezar a hacer su trabajo ella sola, porque ella solamente necesita instrucción en cómo hacer las cosas una vez, si ustedes le enseñan cómo, porque ella casi todo lo puede leer, si aún de hecho ustedes le enseñan mis lecciones de qué es lo que tiene que hacer y cómo lo puede hacer, ella es capaz de hacerlo. Lo que ningún otro. Entonces, no, la verdad me siento triste. Me siento un poquito triste de que ella está diciendo, estoy aburrida, no estoy viendo las cosas, no sé ni de qué me estás hablando, cuál proyecto de animal, todo eso. Entonces digo, le está haciendo un poco...
Lo que pasó ahí fue que nosotros no, por ejemplo, como a mí me llegan emails de usted, pero nomás me llega puro de Zoom, no sabía. Había una confusión de que no sabíamos que en Flipgrid se ponía todos los videos de lo que ella tenía que hacer.
Ajá.
Y eso era la confusión. Por eso yo le decía a ella, pero si a mí no me ha llegado ni un email, nada, decía, o o algo así, pero hasta ahorita estoy
Ok.
viendo que todo lo pone en Flipgrid.
Well, no todo lo pongo en Flipgrid.
O-
En Flipgrid solamente es el enfoque académico de la semana. Entonces, la tarea más importante que tiene que entregar, la tiene que entregármela por Flipgrid. Pero no estoy poniendo todo por Flipgrid. Lo que estoy poniendo todo es por YouTube. Entonces, ahorita,
Also for you, pues no, yo no
que,
sabía.
mire, deje, voy a compartir.
¿Cuál es?
Déjele
No.
enseño. Yo le voy a enseñar ahorita.
Ok.
Sí, hay que chequear
Sí, eso no sabíamos.
Sí que estábamos. Sí, pero...
Ok, ¿sí puede ver lo que estoy haciendo?
Nomás se mira loading. Has started screen sharing, pero no sale nada.
No se ve lo que estoy haciendo en Zoom.
No,
No.
Entonces no pueden ver mi pantalla, lo que estoy viendo en mi pantalla.
No.
no.
Ay, ay,
Oh,
ay.
ahorita sí ya.
¿Ya?
Sí, apenas. Sí,
Sí, ahorita
apenas.
ya.
Ok, entonces los voy a llevar. Esperen un segundito. Los voy a llevar
A ver.
a... Este es ¿cómo se llama? La página de web de la escuela. Y estoy viendo que estoy trabajando bien lentamente, ¿verdad?
Sí, eso es un poco despacio.
Yeah, I see that. Ok. Estoy viendo. Cuando voy a la página de la escuela, allí hay un folder azul.
Ok.
Ok. ¿Sí lo alcanzan a ver o todavía no se ve?
Sí.
Sí, distance. Ajá.
Ajá, aquí. Entonces, adentro de ese folder, de esa carpeta, dice Kinder.
Ok.
Sí, no, todas las semanas voy a esto. Y entonces después, sale 8, Mr. Rodríguez, y luego allí están las lecciones semana por semana por semana. Usted anda semana y se lecciones que voy poniendo yo. Entonces, usted va adentro, así van a ver, ¿sí pueden ver lo que estoy viendo yo ahora?
Sí.
Sí. Ok, ya está, mira.
Aquí están las lecciones, más que no va tan despacio. La vista de y ahí por todos los lunes, martes, miércoles, lunes, en la What am I connected to? 2. Yeah, tell him to get off. Ok, allí sí esta página. Aquí tiene tienen que ver qué es el de la semana, pero aparte de eso, también de YouTube. Eso es escuchando, entonces aquí dentro, en de la semana, y donde salir para mi canal de YouTube.
Oh,
Más que el problema de ahorita es de que mi internet es muy veloz y no le voy a enseñar eso, pero sí quiero que vayan al sitio de y encuentren y empiecen a buscar Kinder, luego Rodríguez y luego ahí van a estar las lecciones.
son nomás con que pongamos y ahí sale así.
Cuando busquen Reader,
Ajá.
va a estar el folder.
Otro folder, ok.
El folder. Y adentro del folder van a buscar Kinder. Y después dentro de ese folder va a estar Rodríguez.
8.
Y ya cuando lleguen a Rodríguez van a encontrar todas las lecciones de cada semana. Entonces, la primera es la lección de la semana de esa semana. Entonces, allá adentro están las lecciones gráficas que les acabo de enseñar. Van a decir Lesson Plans for this week. Entonces, cuando lo abren, van a ver que dice allí cuál es mi YouTube channel para que ustedes, por en caso de que los videos no estén sirviendo muy bien a través de este sitio, pueden verlos también por el YouTube. Pero solamente no es de que me van a encontrar en YouTube más con María Rodríguez, porque está privado.
Ok.
Tienes que entrar ahí primero para. Okay.
Ese video se pone.
Y cuando estén haciendo esto, háganlo con Jojo. Háganlo cerca de con Jojo porque...
Para que ella se fije, ya de ahí ella sola lo puede hacer.
No, si ahí
Ajá.
entraban solos,
Ok.
pero ahora sí ya.
Ya, háganlo. Ustedes empiecen a buscar, pero háganlo con Jojo porque Jojo, ella es rápida.
No, sí, ella sí.
Sí, si lo hace, por ejemplo, allá en el donde la cuidan, pues como es de día y todo, ya en la noche, pues ya nosotros nomás le damos
La revisamos.
una
¿no?
chequeada y vemos los errores o algo y pues rectificamos algo que no sería mucho tiempo a tener, pues, ya.
Sí. Bueno, pronto vuelvo a hablar con ustedes. Ustedes díganme cuándo puedo volver a hablar con ustedes. Como en una semana. Después,
Sí, está bien.
una semana después de también de la
Del Zoom, sería,
del Zoom
sí,
de los padres.
exacto,
Ok.
sí.
Igualmente nos volvemos a ver cómo les está yendo.
Ok,
Ok.
muchísimas gracias. Y
Gracias,
felicidades a su princesa,
gracias,
que
gracias.
está bien
Muchas
hermosa.
gracias.
Los cumpleaños no paran, ¿verdad? No se
No,
pueden
pues no.
detener.
Pero es bueno igual para que queden los recuerdos porque pues ellos no entienden mucho de todo esto, o ellos tienen que tener buenos recuerdos de todo.
La bebé no entiende las cosas, pero sí sabe lo que le gusta. Entonces,
Sí.
Sí,
ella nos dijo la lista, nos dijo qué es lo que tenía que haber y quién iba a estar, y pues ella con que estaban su familia y mis papás, ella está contenta. Entonces,
Sí.
igual me dijo mi niña, aunque sean 5 personas que vengan, me dijo, con 5 personas estuvo bien ella.
gracias a Dios,
Sí,
gracias a Dios.
sí.
Bueno, que estén
Bueno,
bien.
muchísimas gracias, bendiciones, se cuidan mucho.
Igualmente, Dios me los bendiga.
Gracias,
Adiós.
adiós.